so amazing to see how you guys have stuck together through all of this and just continued to be there for each other. It means so much to me personally because, like I said, I just had no idea what was going to happen to the squad. So thank you so much for being here and continuing to support one another. So we have a lot of new faces on the call today. So I'm going to just very briefly talk about who we are. First of all, I'm Liza. I'm the founder of NYC Brunch Squad. I'm very excited to meet some of you guys and get to know you guys today. New York City Brunch Squad actually started out as a brunch club for women in New York City that were looking to make new friends and connections. So I was hosting anywhere from 3 to 5 events per month. And when COVID hit, as I mentioned, I transitioned us over to virtual events. And it's been really exciting because now we can open up our membership to ladies in other cities outside of New York. I think many of you on the call today are not based in New York, which is super exciting. And a bunch of the ladies who actually helped me put this presentation and this whole event together are not based in New York. So it's really cool to see how we can all just branch out and connect. And obviously, whenever things go back to normal, it's always been my goal to do pop-up brunches in other cities, but now we're really building up those networks. And so I'll be so excited to join your cities and come and do in-person events with you guys. But again, thank you just so much for being here. So I'm recording this. There were a few girls that emailed me and let me know that they couldn't make it and they wanted to catch a replay. I think some of you guys are going to want to go back and do some of these activities again as well. So there will be a replay. I'll try to email that out within the next few days. So hi to anybody who's catching the replay. So before we dive in, I have to give a huge thank you to Paige, Courtney, Stephanie, Erica, Jonalyn, Nisa, and Sabrina. You guys, these ladies dedicated their time and energy to putting together some really amazing workshops and activities for you guys. So I really hope you take advantage of the private portal. If you haven't already, definitely check it out. All of their social media and their websites are on there. So I encourage you to take some time and get to know them. If you're having any trouble getting onto the portal, just shoot me an email or a DM. It's super, super easy to get on there. But there's so many goodies. So if you haven't already, definitely set some time aside to check that out. So today's event is obviously a little different from our vision board party last year in many ways, but it's more designed to give you the motivation and the inspiration that you'll need to make your vision board. So we're going to be spending a relatively small portion of the time actually building our boards. If anyone is having trouble figuring out how to do that online, I did send an email with some recommendations and we'll talk about it a little bit more when we get to that portion of things. So let me just run you guys through the agenda for today. We're going to start out with a guided group meditation just to help us get grounded, get focused, get relaxed, start shifting our mindsets for 2021. From there, we'll move into a pretty brief discussion, just touch base on some of our goals. After that, we are going to move into a breathwork session for about 20 minutes just to help us release whatever we may still be holding on to from 2020 that we want to let go of. And then we'll do about 10 minutes to work on our boards. And then we will close things out with an amazing presentation from Breathe Happy Wellness called New Year, New Energy. And I also have a couple of just special announcements, things that are going to be coming up over the next few weeks. So without any further ado, let's kick things off with a group meditation. So we are going to be guided through this by Breathe Happy Wellness. They are a meditation and holistic wellness collective. Those of you who joined us for last month's event know that they are absolutely incredible. If you missed that event, there is a replay, so feel free to reach out. I'm happy to send that over. And we also have an IGTV post that we did together. So if you ever find that you need just a quick pause in your day, it is a game changer. Highly recommend you check it out. You can shoot me a DM and I'll send it over to you if you missed it. So I'm going to turn things over to Erica and Jonalyn for the guided meditation. Thank you, guys.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much, Liza. My name is Jonalyn, and we're going to do just a quick 5-minute meditation to get you grounded and to just help you feel a little bit more positive today and throughout this year. So if you all want to get into a comfortable position, looks like everyone's sitting, but feel free to lie down if you want to for a quick 5 minutes. And you can start to close your eyes. I'm just going to play some music. So, closing your eyes, just letting your mind settle down just a little bit. Today we're going to do a positive mindset meditation. And this meditation is designed to bring you to a positive mindset so that you can feel empowered throughout the rest of your day. So taking a deep breath in through your nose and letting that out through your mouth. And one more time, taking a deep breath in through your nose. Hold it at the top for just a couple seconds. And then open your mouth, exhale, let it all out. Allowing your shoulders to drop down and away from your ears. Allowing your eyebrows to gently part and relaxing your tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Resting your awareness on your breath as you watch the gentle rise of your inhale, filling your lungs, inflating your chest, and the exhale as it deflates your lungs and relaxes your shoulders. Bringing the awareness to the space between your eyebrows. Feeling a gentle relaxation rest and wash across your mind. A spacious, open awareness as you maintain this single point of focus. This space in between your eyebrows, or what some people can refer to as the third eye. And in this moment, witnessing how you're feeling, taking a moment to acknowledge that this present moment is happening right here, right now. How are you feeling in your mind space? How are you feeling in your body? And becoming grateful now for your body and your mind. Feeling appreciation for your health, your good health. And starting to visualize exactly how you want your life to be. Knowing that life is such a gift. And knowing that your life matters and how you feel matter and that you matter. Knowing that you are worthy of love. And seeing yourself loving deeply and being loved by those that you care about. And see yourself accomplishing great things. Feeling secure in who you are. And knowing that you are powerful and capable of anything. And really seeing yourself living the life of your dreams. And so taking another deep breath in through your nose And out through your mouth. We'll take a minute to set an intention for the rest of this call, for the rest of this day. How do you want to be? How do you want to show up? So setting an intention. And an intention is like a vow that's true in this present moment. And it comes from your heart and your mind. And intention isn't something you have to search for. It's something that you already have inside. So what is your intention? What are you fully ready to align with? Maybe it's love, peace, health, abundance. What is your intention? And now pausing here for just a moment, noticing your breath once again, noticing the steadiness of your body, and knowing that your intention is here to support you as you move throughout your day. And you have choices in every moment. One choice will move you closer to your intention, and the other choice will pull you further away. So in everything you do, try to make that choice that will make you closer to your intention. And trust that when you are aligned internally, the external will fall into place. So taking another deep breath in, holding it just for a couple seconds, and then audibly sigh it out. Starting to become aware of your space. You can wiggle your fingers and your toes, and then slowly open your eyes and come back. Thank you so much for your practice. I'm so excited for the rest of our call.
Thank you, Jonalyn. Oh my goodness. I'm so happy there's a replay. I'm going to start every day of 2021 with that exercise. It was so lovely. What did you guys think? I'm seeing a lot of smiles, so I think you guys enjoyed it. All right. So Lisa says so powerful. Amazing. All right, so let's move into just a pretty brief discussion. So whenever Michelle says yes every day. Ashley says her dog is hypnotized. I love it. Oh my gosh, such a cute dog. All right, amazing. So whenever I'm reflecting on anything, I like to try to pull out key takeaways. So lessons learned from those experiences and any goals that I can set around maintaining those lessons. So I thought it would be fun for us to just talk a little bit about something we learned in 2020. What is a lesson we took away from an experience that we'll be carrying with us into 2021? And I know this is kind of a big question. I'll go first. I'll share. I keep saying that the little things in life have become the big things for me. So before all of this, I would never think twice about going to get tea with a friend, right? It's an experience that I for sure would take for granted. And it's so true what they say, like, you don't know what you've got till it's gone, right? I think moving into 2021, I have really been focusing on maintaining an attitude of gratitude. It has been so helpful for me to focus on all of the things that I'm grateful for, all of the things that are going right in the world, instead of focusing on everything that's going wrong in the world. So that's definitely a goal for me in 2021, something that I'm working on. I wanted to open it up if anyone else wants to share. No pressure. If you don't want to, not a big deal. We will just move on to the next activity. But I wanted to just allow some space if anyone did want to share any lessons you're taking into 2021 or any goals that you have set for yourselves.
Share.
Great.
Okay. I think for me, hi everybody, I'm Erica. I'm the other half of Breathe Happy. So I know the importance of self-care and meditation, but I think this year has just really challenged all of us in so many different ways. So for me, I really had to work on managing my energy and my emotions. So I think it was just like a really big lesson in growth and really digging deeper into like meditation practices, therapy, all the things that just help us to stay centered and grounded. So, yeah, I think my biggest takeaway was just really tapping into those things that are within our control, that, and just kind of trying to release the things that are not within our control.
Yes, that is huge. So huge. I agree with everything you said. We have Michelle in the chat saying play, which I love. We all need more of that going into 2021 for sure. And there are definitely fun ways to just incorporate more fun, playful activities into our day. So I love that. I'll give it just another second in case anyone else had anything else they wanted to share. Like I said, no pressure. Great.
So I would say the biggest lesson was to appreciate times of rest and not to be so critical of them.
Yes.
I unexpectedly started a business this year after the restaurant industry went down.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And I think it's like the biggest thing I learned was like the times where I felt like I needed to push myself and like burn out were like, I felt like I owed that to myself because I was taking this risk and because of everything that's going on. But in reality, me taking the rest was more valuable because when I like came back more energized, you're able to do more, be more creative, be more efficient. Whereas if you just push yourself to burnout, it may feel good at the time to like continue to like check off things that, off your to-do list, but it comes at a cost for sure.
I cannot agree with that more. Self-care, I've become like a self-care freak. I used to also have that guilt, especially I've been having this conversation with a lot of my coworkers because we are all working remotely still. And so they've been saying that they feel guilty taking time off because we're like working from home. So it feels like it should be easier and feels like you shouldn't need time off. But it's still so important. Like we have to unplug, we have to unwind. I would say now more than ever. So I couldn't agree with you more. It's so important to just pause. Andrea shared finding more balance and listening to what my body needs. We're all on the same page here, it seems. She says it's so easy to go, 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 especially in New York City, and feel caught up in the grind and not pay attention to what we need or feel. I agree. Yes. So we've got a lot of people in agreement that self-care is super important. So
yes, I totally agree with the mindfulness stuff too. I'd love to share and add something as well, Liza. I've also noticed throughout this experience how we have had to be, social distancing and staying inside our homes, how much like I really love and value like social interaction and social activities. And I think, going out and doing things with friends and family and like not having any anxiety about potentially getting an infection, like we took that for granted now. And I also realized that I do like some of the benefits of remote working and working from home, but I also love interacting with coworkers and going into an office. So I think that's a lesson I learned this year that once, things start opening back up and it's a much safer place to interact with people, that's something I'm going to be looking forward to doing once things, open up, just connecting with people more in person, and coworkers as well.
Yes, we are going to appreciate it so much more than we ever have. I agree. I agree with everything you said. We have more people in the comments saying, or the chat saying same thing, self-care. Angie's sharing how important our health is, and we truly are not so powerless, and how we are so powerful. We have the power to choose, appreciate what we have. Andrea shared she misses being able to physically hug family and friends. It's amazing how much we took that for granted before. I so agree. So did anyone else have anything they wanted to share? I don't want to cut anybody off. I feel like I had heard someone else. Is it Mamo Kete? Am I saying that correctly?
Yes, you
Okay.
are.
Did you raise your hand or was I seeing
Yes,
things?
I
Okay,
did.
great.
Yeah, I did. I've got a problem. I do start projects, but I don't finish. So when I got to get into this group, I want sort of help. How do I finish whatever I start? Because last year I did myself a vision board, but I never, succeeded with anything on that. Then seeing this group, I hope to achieve, to see some things that can lead me to completing, to self-love, to completing projects, such things. So I hope I'll get some help here.
I love that you shared that. I think that's something so many of us can relate to. That actually ties into one of the announcements that I have for the group. So I'm going to hold off until a little bit later. But I completely agree with you, just as a little preview. For me, January, it's always so easy to be like super focused and motivated this month and like set all of these goals. And then as the weeks go by, it sort of fades and I sort of start to fall off with things. And so there is going to be an accountability group that you'll have the opportunity to join if you want to just have a little bit more support and people kind of holding you accountable to the intentions that you're setting for yourself. So I will talk about that a little bit more towards the end, if that's okay. But yeah, thank you so much for sharing. And welcome to the group. We're so happy to have you.
Thank you.
All right. So I think that was everyone that wanted to share. If not, please interrupt me. But we'll go ahead and move on to our breathwork session. So I'm hoping everyone had the chance to take a look at the sort of introductory video that Stephanie put together for us, because I know breathwork is something that not everyone has done before. So just, I guess, in case people didn't see that, Stephanie, I would ask that you just give a few of those quick, disclaimers. But guys, Stephanie is joining us from Nova Scotia, which is so cool. It's so exciting. Again, I just love that we've been able to expand to ladies outside of New York. But yeah, I'm going to turn things over to you, Stephanie. Thank you.
Thank you. I'm so happy to be here. That meditation was gorgeous. That was such a perfect setup for our breathwork session. So yes, I'm Steph and I'm in Canada on the East Coast, and I am really excited to walk you through a breathwork session. So I do want to just kind of follow up what Liza just said. Has everybody had a chance to watch the intro video in the portal? Maybe not. It's okay if you haven't. I will go through a couple of the quick contraindications, because although generally it's safe, there are a couple people that are going to have to just adapt their breathing a little bit, which is totally okay. So what I'll do first is, has anyone tried breathwork before? Couple of you, few of you. I see a few faces that I recognize. Hi, beauties. Okay, so what I'll do then, I will just quickly read straight off my website the contraindications. If you have anything going on that I mention here, still participate, but you're going to just breathe regularly. Okay, I'm going to walk you through the breathing technique after I read this, but it is important just to kind of get this out there. So because we have this intense physical and emotional release with breath work, we do want to make sure that people that have a history of cardiovascular disease, including angina or heart attack, high blood pressure, glaucoma, retinal detachment, osteoporosis, or any recent surgeries, they're going to want to not do the technique that we're going to do today. But again, we'll adapt that for you. Also, persons with severe mental illness or seizure disorders, or anyone using major medications. If you're pregnant or if you have a history of aneurysms in your family, then you'd also want to stay away from the breathing technique. And also, if you have asthma, I want you to use your own discretion with that, but have your inhaler on standby, just because we are kind of going through a deep release here, okay? So again, very safe for anyone that doesn't have this list of contraindications. So if you do fit into that category, then you're going to just follow along, but breathe normally and just kind of maybe take it at, 20% deeper than you normally would, okay? So the technique that I do is it's a 3-step process. If possible, I would encourage you to lay down because that's going to be the most comforting, the most relaxing, and ideally don't have anything underneath your head. So if you can lay as flat as you can, like on a yoga mat or a bed. I did explain all this in that intro video, but I realize again, I'm going to just kind of breeze through this really quickly. If you have questions, please make sure you ask. So what I would encourage you to do is lay flat. If you need to prop your knees up with a pillow under your knees, I always find that's the most comfortable. It takes some of the pressure off of your lower back. So bed or a yoga mat. You can do it sitting up, but I've always found it to be way more effective laying down. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to be breathing through our mouth. So the in and out process is through our mouth. And you are going to, as much as you can, breathe in about 80% into the belly. So when you're breathing in, your belly and diaphragm is going to extend. So we're going to aim for bringing about 80% of our breath into our belly. Then we're going to just top up that last 20% or so in the chest. Okay. So again, through the mouth, in and out through the mouth. So it's going to look like, and then the release. Is that clear? I don't know if you guys can see me. Does that make sense? Yeah, so I'm going to be guiding you through the process, so don't worry about that. But just remember, we're just breathing in and out through our mouth. We're going to be aiming to bring about 80%, so the majority of our air is coming in through into the belly. Just do a little top up in the chest. So just try it a couple times here. And then on the exhale, it's not a force, it's a simple release. We're letting go, right? We're letting go of that storm of 2020. So I hope you don't mind language, because I do have a little bit, sometimes I have a bit of a potty mouth. Okay, so get comfy. And I know I kind of sped through that, but just let me know if there's any questions. I don't think there is.
Yeah, for anyone who's never done breath work before, this is your time to ask any questions. Lindsay says, should we do the eye covering? I love to use one. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. So if you have something to cover your eyes, an eye pillow, even just like a t-shirt or something nearby, I find that just helps with us getting into it. Okay. Now, what you may experience if you've never done breath work, it's interesting because every session can be totally different. But you will likely experience some bodily sensations, some tingling. I've had a lot of people say that they feel like they're kind of like melting into the floor. So you're kind of like sticking to the floor. If you get at any point to a point where it's uncomfortable, just know the difference between maybe that's your ego trying to like keep you safe and just saying like, we're working through a lot of stuff. This is a big emotional release here. So just know the difference between, okay, my body is really uncomfortable and I should probably just slow down my breathing and breathe regular for a few minutes. I want you to just kind of tune into that, okay? So you will notice some sensations. So again, there could be a little bit of lightheadedness, but that is going to pass. And also, if you get to that point, just kind of breathe regular in and out through the mouth for a couple rounds, okay? Alrighty, so I'm going to pull up my music, and what I'm going to do here is, again, guide you through the process. So remember, in and out through the mouth, belly, chest, exhale. You can't do it wrong. Don't worry about that. And let's get started. You just did a pretty intense emotional and spiritual workout. So just take your time.
Thank you so much, Stephanie.
You're so welcome.
What a beautiful playlist. I took a screenshot and we'll send that out to you guys so you can have it.
I was going to say we'll send it because that's the first everyone after a session's always like, can I have that playlist?
Yeah, it was amazing. I can tell you guys, so breathwork is always a super emotional experience for me. And I do see some people were crying. So I was barely participating because I'm like, all right, I can't come back on here like hysterical. And even just the little bit that I did was so, so amazing. So thank you so much for guiding us through that. I really appreciate it.
You are so welcome. You're so welcome. And yeah, ugly cry. I do that every time.
I have such a range.
In fact, that's one of the reasons why I knew breathwork was powerful, because I feel blocks with crying. Like I'm not a crier. And my first breathwork session, I was like, what just happened? Like, what is going on right now?
Yeah. The first time I ever did it, they said like, you might want to have tissues nearby. And I was like, why? I'm just breathing. Like, I'm not going to need tissues. And then I ended up having this intense reaction. I was crying and I was like, okay, I get it. But yeah, I think like you said, every experience is so different. So for anyone who didn't cry, I don't want you to feel like, you missed anything, but yeah, thank you, Stephanie, so, so much. That was amazing.
You're so welcome. And I'll just mention that, like, obviously take your time and go really gentle with yourself for the remaining of the day. Drink lots of water, eat something healthy and grounding. I'm seeing like a lot of the responses here, and we store our emotions in our body, and this is just one very powerful way to release and let go and surrender, even if we think we've done the work already. And I see some of you are shaking your hands and whatnot. That's a very normal thing. Sometimes your hands will clamp up and cramp, and very normal. So just kind of give yourself a little bit of a chance to come back into your body, and you will feel totally normal. And I would encourage you to have a journal or a notebook nearby, because what tends to happen, and again, different for everybody, but you'll likely get some breakthroughs and some downloads, and you may have experienced, sometimes you kind of transport into like another portal or dimension, and it might not make sense at the time, but you can kind of decode it almost like a dream book. So I always encourage you to just stay open and receptive to what might happen over the coming hours or days or weeks. And I would love for you to keep me updated. Please, please, please. I get so pumped and jazzed about like hearing everyone's experiences. So please definitely let me know how that was.
I'm going to link everyone's social media in the replay email that I send out. So it'll be super easy to find her on Instagram and shoot her a message. And somebody was asking about a replay. Yes, there is going to be a replay. We are recording this. So I just want to be mindful of time because I know we are at that 1 hour mark. I don't understand how. I feel like we just started, but I'm going to switch up our agenda a little bit. So I am going to make my announcements. I have just 3 quick announcements, and then I think we'll jump right into the presentation from Breathe Happy Wellness. And we'll save for the very end if there is anybody who actually wanted to take some time to actually work on their boards. We'll just save that for the very end. So that way, if anybody has to go, they'll still be able to catch the presentation from Breathe Happy Wellness. So let me just let somebody in who just joined. Okay. So, so announcements very quickly. So in keeping with this theme of new year, new energy. Our next event on January 30th is called Redesign and Realign. And we are going to be speaking with a professional home organizer as well as a feng shui teacher. They're going to talk to us about how to create spaces that energize us. So I know I personally really need this one because I am a major hoarder and I've been trying so hard to like go through my living space and just get rid of things that I don't need anymore. And so I just wanted to make you all aware of that. The next thing that I will say is, I think a lot of you know this, but I had previously sent out a survey. I wanted to hear from people some feedback about challenges that you experience when you're trying to make new friends. And it has been so fascinating going through these results. I think so far, maybe like 100 people have submitted answers. There is definitely a common theme coming up in that people are looking for deeper and more meaningful connections. So a lot of people sort of said that it's easier to like make, like acquaintances, like it's easier to find people that you click with and, you guys kind of like have fun together, get to know each other, but really making those deeper connections has been harder. And so I've been thinking about that a lot and just thinking about the virtual events that I've been doing. And I realized that the virtual events are not really very conducive to that because, you come to one virtual event with one group and then the next virtual event may be a completely different group of people. And so obviously we're all here because we want to meet new people and make new friends. But over the next few weeks, you're going to start to see some opportunities to really get to know each other on a deeper level. So basically doing more than one virtual event with the same group of ladies. So as I sort of mentioned earlier, I'm actually going to be kicking that off with this event. Like I said, I tend to be super centered and focused on my goals for, the first few weeks of January. And then this is about that time where it starts to fade. It just kind of fades as the weeks go by. And so I am putting together an accountability group for us. Basically for anyone who kind of wants to take what we did today to the next level and just have a core group of women supporting you and holding you accountable to your goals. I'm going to start it off at 90 days. If it goes well and we want to keep it going, I'm definitely open to that, but it's going to be like yoga, meditation, discussions, activities, journaling, all the things, just to try and help keep your motivation going past January. So, and of course, giving you that opportunity to get to know each other on a deeper level. So everyone who's here today, you're going to be the first that are invited to join that group. I'm still kind of finalizing all the details, but stay tuned for that. And then the last thing on the topic of staying motivated, I am super excited about this. So I created mantra rings for us. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it says keep going. And when you guys sign up to get one, it's going to come with a note of encouragement from another lady in the squad. So kind of piggybacking off of the pen pal project that we did over the summer, which a lot of people really liked. And that was super fun. So there's going to be limited quantities because I obviously have no idea how many people are going to want them. But you guys are going to be the first to get a chance to get one. So yeah, with that, that's all my announcements. I'm loving all the comments in the chat. So I'm going to turn it over to Breathe Happy Wellness to close us out with our last kind of formal workshop activity. And then after that, I'll stick around for a little bit in case anybody wanted to do a little bit of their vision board together. And yeah, we'll go from there.
Hi, everyone. My name is Erica with Breathe Happy. We're a meditation collective. So we try to focus also on just holistic health. But if you have a journal or some paper and a pen, please grab it. If you don't have access to that, just feel free to close your eyes and reflect on the questions.
This is one of the prettiest presentations I've ever seen in my life, by the way, Erica. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay.
So we're going to go through a few slides, and we'll just take a couple minutes to, like Erica said, write down a few thoughts about each of these questions, or if you don't have a journal in front of you, you can meditate on it on your own. And at the end of our presentation, we'll take a few minutes to share if anyone feels like they want to share anything that we've talked about. So here's our first slide. Erica, did you want to say anything before I start with the questions?
Go right ahead.
Our first slide, our New Year intentions. So just journaling on some thoughts about this. This year, I will not procrastinate anymore on. I will draw the most energy from. This year, I will say yes when. And 3 things I will do every morning. And like I said, we only have a couple minutes, so maybe focusing on 1 or 2 of these questions so that we can really dive deeper into this.
And if anyone does have to hop off, you will get the replay, so you will be able to continue on. So you guys, we have a request from Michelle. If you could explain a little bit number 2, I will draw the most energy from.
Sure, no problem. So kind of like we talked earlier about finding some self-care practices that really fill you up, things that really nourish you and give you energy and make you feel good. So some examples, like for me, I said, things like meditation, yoga, exercise, things that can just really put us into a really positive state of mind. So I hope that helps. And also, too, if you're more of an extrovert, extroverts draw energy from being around other people and connection. So, maybe things like, just like we're doing today, connecting with new people, that might give you some energy.
Thank you, guys. She says thank you.
Sure. All right, well, we'll move on to the next set of questions. So we've talked about how this has been such a challenging year that's brought upon many emotions, as a collective and for us personally, everyone's going through their own experience. So this question helps us to think about, what do we want to try to unburden ourselves with? What do we want to leave in the past so we can move forward feeling lighter and more inspired, so that we can kind of release any of those negative emotions that we've been carrying with us and weighing ourselves down with. So what still needs to be forgiven? And these are just some thoughts. Are you angry or disappointed with yourself or someone else, with the world, the collective? Any negative emotions that you would like to release? And if you were able to do that, how would your life be different or feel different? So if you want to just take a few minutes to reflect on what you'd like to leave behind in 2020, so that you can walk into this new year feeling a better version of yourself.
Okay, so we'll move on to this next slide. My word for the year ahead. So a lot of us, I think in the past, I know I have, we've written down our New Year's resolutions very specifically. I'm going to work out 3 days a week or 3 times a week. I'm going to get 8 hours of sleep every night. And we often, don't achieve those goals because they're so unrealistic. So what's been popular, I feel like in the last couple of years is people coming up with sort of a word or intention for their year. So just thinking about what your year could look like for you with one word or maybe in a sentence. What is your biggest wish or intention for the year ahead? So just thinking about something, that can sort of define how you want your year to look like.
All right, Liza, do we have a few minutes to have some discussion?
Yeah, definitely. Guys, if anyone has to hop off, like I said, we're going to record this. You'll get the replay. Please feel free. But yeah, I think we can just keep going for anyone who wants to stick around.
Okay. So just going back to that first question, does anyone want to share, any of their New Year intentions from this first slide? Just kind of proclaim it. Sometimes that is helpful to say it out loud. So if anyone wants to share.
I'll share. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Hi, Layla.
Everybody. Hi, I'm Layla. Layla from Jersey. If anybody else is out there from Montclair, that's where I am. Let's see. This one was really interesting. I had an answer for all three, so I'll just give short blurbs of them. This year, I will not procrastinate anymore on activating my own potential. Everyone always tells me I've got all this great energy and I should be doing this, that, and the third, and I've always put off channeling it where I know I can, and that's probably a little bit of my own self-sabotage. So this is the year we stop doing that because I'm also turning 30 this year. So it's a new decade.
Woohoo!
Yes, a new decade, new energy. I'm very excited. And I'll be drawing the most energy from good, positive places and people who support me and lift up who I am in my current form. My family is my biggest support system, and I have fantastic friends who are so supportive and bring a positive energy. And so I'm going to draw more on that and not so much on that little voice in your head that says you can't. Three things I'm going to be trying to do more every morning. Definitely reading my daily devotional, and journaling, and taking time to just breathe and take a moment to be inside of my own head so that I'm not inside of my own head for the rest of the day. Because I have a really stressful job. I work with really high-strung real estate agents, and I have to be fair to me in taking that time in the morning so that I can function. And yeah, that's where I'm at.
Beautiful intentions. I love that. And especially to start your morning out in a centered place, it's going to help you carry that feeling with you throughout your day and hopefully rub off on some of the real estate agents. So thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Layla. That was amazing. You said so much. I don't even know how to start to respond to everything that you said, but the one thing that stuck out to me so much was just really trying to do the things that you can do. I feel like so many of us can relate to that. We all have that voice in our head who's trying to tear us down or trying to prevent us from doing the things that we know we can do. And so I love that you are focusing on that this year. And I can't wait to see what you will be creating. And happy 30th, by the way.
Thank you.
whole new decade. All right. The next question, this is one where we have to dig a little deeper. Would anyone like to share just anything that they need to or want to leave behind in 2020, or at least to try to start to process? Anything that still needs to be forgiven? Does anybody feel open to sharing? Okay. I know that can be a little private. So
yeah, I was going to say, I think it's nice to like share as a group, but it's also nice to just reflect on these things on your own as well. So for anyone who doesn't feel like sharing, again, there is no pressure here. Like the whole idea of doing this is to give you the space to do these things for yourselves. So no stress if no one feels like sharing. This one's totally fine.
Absolutely. So this is a fun one, your word for the year. I've always chosen words like follow through or consistent. So this year I wanted to be a little more, just pick something that felt better. So I chose devotion because I want to be devoted to my self-care practices, to being authentic and true to myself. So I felt like the word devotion kind of embodied all of that. So anybody else have a word that they hope will inspire them throughout the year to stick to their intention?
I was going to say too, if people want to drop it in the chat, it would be really cool to see like a visual representation of all of our words. So I would love to do that if everyone feels like sharing. And I just want to, we also missed a couple ladies hopping off saying goodbye. And then Ashley says she's setting the intention to be and practice independence, which I love. So yeah, if you guys want to drop your words in there, or if you want to share on here, whatever you prefer.
I'll share. I haven't said anything yet.
Hi, Paige.
Hi.
Welcome. Guys, if you have not watched Paige's video on our portal yet, you need to check it out after this event. Thank you, Paige.
I did the guided meditation. You're welcome. Thanks, Eliza. I don't have a word this year, but I want to focus on staying present and also letting go, which during the breathwork session, I was like, I felt like clamped up and I like started freaking out a little bit. And then I was like, this is just more proof that I need to like learn how to let go more and trust and just kind of let go of control. And as soon as I did, I kind of surrendered to that and it didn't bother me as much. But yeah, just working on letting go this year and kind of, I'm a manifestation teacher. So it's all about like setting your intention and then letting the universe guide you. And I think a lot of times I'm still really holding on to control and controlling how the way my life is, my business is, and trying to let go of that this year.
I love that because it's so hard to sometimes, put your trust or faith in the universe when sometimes you're like, oh, but I just want to hold on tightly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you guys so much for journaling, and we just really appreciate you sharing and taking the time to reflect.
Amazing. Thank you guys. And thank you to everyone who shared. So I would love to hear just if anyone has any last minute thoughts, if you want to share anything about what we did today. I know we did a lot. I hope you guys practice some self-care tonight, do something relaxing because this was a lot of work. I will stick around a bit for anybody who wants to do a little bit of vision boarding. All right. So guys, I'm wishing you a wonderful 2021. I hope you stay safe, healthy, and sane. Most importantly, I hope to continue seeing you at events. Again, it means so much to me for you guys showing up today, being here for each other. It's so, so important. So yeah, everyone take care. And for anybody who wants to stick around, I'm going to leave the room open probably another 10 minutes. I have a little playlist that I'll play and we can work on our vision boards. So everyone take care who's heading out. And we got so many great words in the chat. This is awesome. Awesome. All right. So how far is everybody along with their vision boards? Because mine is at the very, very beginning. I literally have one tiny corner done, and I really was not expecting that because I picked out a ton of pictures and I really thought it was going to be pretty easy to put them all together on the board. But after watching Paige's video, I was like, these photos aren't really making me feel anything. Like they were just kind of photos that I liked or thought were pretty. And, you know, in Paige's video, she talks about the importance of choosing photos that make you really feel something. And so I went back and started pulling new photos with that kind of intention. And it's hard. It's hard to find things that really make you feel something. So where are people at? Have people like started, not started, finished? I would love to know. Okay, raise your hand if you have not started at all. Oh, okay. Okay, so we got one. I can't really see everyone in one screen, unfortunately, but I think we have one or two that haven't started at all. Okay, and has anybody finished their vision board already? Is anybody already done? No. Okay. Oh, okay. So Ashley shared that she started, but she's emotionally attached to her board from last year. I love that. Oh, she's showing us. I love it. So I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I mean, if you have some of the same intentions that you had last year, I think that's great. I mean, maybe you can just add some more things to it or like take some things off. It was a lot easier to do this last year because we were all sitting together at a table and cutting up pictures. Actually, I think a few of you guys were there. But yeah, does anyone have any questions about how to do it online? Because like I said, I sent out an email with some tips, but Lola is 90% done. That is amazing.
So I haven't read your email.
Okay.
But hi
No
everyone, I'm
worries.
Diana. I'm new. And
Welcome.
my problem in the past with vision boards is just like I felt like I needed everything. And so my board ended up being literally the size of my wall. And I felt like I couldn't commit to, because I'm just so multi-passionate and I just have so many interests. I couldn't focus and I felt like I should. So then there was also that pressure, like you should bring it down to 3 things or 2 things or something. So a little advice with that.
Yeah, Paige, do you have any insight on that? Because I feel like I have some thoughts, but I feel like you are definitely the pro here.
Absolutely. I think whatever works for you, if it feels overwhelming, that's the feeling that you're going to have when you look at it. So maybe, you should tone it down a little bit, but there's nothing that says you have to have like 2 things that you're constantly looking at. Maybe you can become aware of those things more, but your brain actually, even if it's in your peripheral, your brain still sees it and it still like takes note of it. So that's why they say like hang it up, use it as your phone background. I have an old vision board on my phone, if you can see that. Like I have like words written on there. I've got like different things on there because your brain actually picks it up every time you see it. So don't be afraid to have too much on there, but I would kind of keep it to where you can look at it and feel like a sense of peace, not like you're overwhelmed with it. That's not a good feeling.
Yeah, I love that. And I was just going to say, like, just remember there are no rules with vision boarding, right? Like, it's whatever works for you. And so anytime I start to put pressure on myself of like, oh, but I want it to look this way or this way, it's like, no, there's no rules. It's just designed to be a tool to help motivate you. And so I completely agree with what Paige said. If when you look at it, you feel kind of overwhelmed, then just really ponder, like, what are those top things that you want to focus on and just build it around that. Or maybe you need to make multiple vision boards. Like maybe you can have 2 or 3 that kind of are focused on 2 or 3 of the different areas of your life that you're passionate about. I think there's a lot of ways to go about it, but there are no wrong ways. That's the best part. So whatever works for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I would have to agree if I could chime in a bit.
Go for it.
Yeah, what I did is I haven't finished yet, but I'm doing a bunch of different separate ones for different categories because I couldn't really just necessarily pick just one word or just one or just a couple things that I wanted to focus on. But what I was in like a different webinar or something, and I got guidance that kind of helped me kind of edit a little bit if you're having trouble editing things out that you don't feel like are truly with your vision. Is what someone said to me was like make a list of your values that you have and see if like your intentions or your goals are then gonna align with like your values and other things that you're thinking about. So like say for example, if your maybe goal is to be like more social or to connect more with others, then maybe your word wouldn't necessarily be like calm, you know what I mean? Because like you want to be more social and active. So like I guess it's, or you could just make a whole separate board for like your feeling of like peace and calmness and meditation, and then do a separate board for like networking and your social goals like that. That kind of helped me a little bit. I don't know if that'll help anyone else.
Love that. I think for me too, like, so it's so easy to get overwhelmed because like you're thinking of all these different things you want to include on there, and then it starts to feel so overwhelming. So I love that idea. I think that's so helpful. I just realized also I'm still recording, which I'm going to stop because